Hello Mahadev Mitra, welcome back to the channel. Live with Singh. Hope you're doing well. And we're back on Mondays. I don't call this podcast. I don't think it is podcast. Yes, but I'm back with my personal views, and I'm going to be continuing on the talk of Aravalli Hills because there has been an update, a good one as well, by the way, from the looks of it. So, let's get straight into it. So basically, yesterday, the PBI, Press Information Bureau, gave the official statement regarding the proceedings of the Supreme Court and what was actually said and agreed. And it has given other information as well, which I was not aware of. I was looking for a lot of information, but it was kind of flooded with a lot of stuff. And turns out that there was some information that I did not know which came into light, and it makes me a bit hopeful. It does. And I'm not at all ashamed to say that I was ignorant, and I did come off as a bit of wokish, which I did not want to do in the last video. And it was a bit of fear-mongering, or whatever you would like to call it. It wasn't fear-mongering from my side. It was an alarmist claim, which is what I was able to conclude to after getting all the information that I had at the point of time, which had changed. It hasn't changed enough for me to be without any worry and go like, fine, it's safe, but it has changed a bit. Maybe I think we should just get straight to it without wasting any time. So basically, I was just setting up the whole screen and stuff, which is a new thing I've started doing. I don't know if it's nice or not. If you don't like it, let me know. I will do whatever I can about it. But yeah, here's the screen. As you can see, basically, turns out it was more of the whole decision was regarding a uniform policy level definition of Aravalli Hills and ranges, specifically in the context of regulating mining. So mining is already happening. It's to just kind of have a uniform definition first and foremost. This also turns out this whole thing, this decision of like identified all landform rising 100 meter above local relief as hills, and based on that prohibiting mining on both hills and its supporting slopes. That is very important thing to actually put in there. State of Rajasthan has been following this definition since 9 January 2006, so it has already been happening since 2006. The only thing that they have tried to change and make sure is that all states through which Aravalli goes and start to recognize and have a uniform definition of Aravalli Hills throughout all the different states it goes through, which was already being followed by Rajasthan since 2006. That is a very important thing to remember. This is not a new definition. It was already existing, which was being followed. But there are certain important things to consider this. It is saying here, if you read it, you will understand it. More context will be there for you if you actually read this whole paragraph earlier. But I'm just going to start from here so you can understand why I'm saying it's a bit different. Yeah, it is therefore be wrong to conclude that mining is permitted to all landforms below 100 meter height. The committee constituted by the Supreme Court proposed several improvements over the definition currently followed by Rajasthan. It has given improvements as well. That's what I'm actually trying to say here by letting you. I'll read it for you guys. Yes, to strengthen it and to make it more transparent, objective, and conservation centric. A clear, objective, and scientifically robust criterion for determining local relief, enabling uniform application across all states, and ensuring full protection of the entire hill landform up to its base. Not just that hill, everything to its base. Explicit protection to ranges, which was absent in Rajasthan's definition, is also included now. The committee recommended that hills within 500 meters of each other constitute a range and must be protected accordingly. Mandatory markings of Aravalli Hills and ranges on Survey of India maps before any mining activity is even considered. It's not written even, but before any mining activity is considered. So there needs to be mandatory marking first. Clear identification of core inviolate areas where mining is strictly prohibited. So you need to give clear definition where it can never be given to anyone to mine and exploit. Detailed guidance for enabling sustainable mining and effective measures to prevent illegal mining. So, okay. Effective measures to prevent illegal mining. Okay, that is a better line actually compared to the one which was given to us that, oh, we can't really stop illegal mining, that's why we need to give rights for mining. That is such a bullshit statement, and where I read it, that actually did infuriate me. This doesn't infuriate me that much. Okay, let's go forward. Ranges, regulatory framework, protection, core areas, illegal enforcement against illegal mining. This is final that 20 Honorable Supreme Court commended committee as well, including existence of technical committees. Appreciate this recommendation regarding prevention of illegal mining, prevented only sustainable mining in Aravalli. That's the whole point. The issue still with me is like it is still enabling mining. Just calling it sustainable can't really. What are they going to wear? Green hats? Are the cranes going to have green labels saying environment friendly? Yeah, matlab, that does not really mean anything. Sustainable mining. Mining का actually दे तो रहे हो फिर भी. Supreme Court has accepted these recommendations and imposed an interim moratorium on new leases until the landscape-wide MBSM, that is sustainable mining practice की बात हो रही है, is prepared. So अभी के लिए रोक दिया, which is fine. Yes, new leases नहीं दी जा रही है, which is a good thing. मैं ये पढ़ चुका हूँ, मुझे पूरा याद bits and pieces में है. You will read entire thing. I remember the basic gist of it, but you need to read it for your own to have any idea why it is not what it is being portrayed as. Not exactly. It is still point of concern because it does still open up places under 100 meter, little bit, and that is 90% of Aravalli. That just is still a risky thing, but there's more to it. It's hopeful. That's what I've said. It is hopeful. So I will just give you basic gist when they were saying how it is still protected. Committee findings later upheld. The Supreme Court provided a clear scientific basis for identifying Aravalli Hills and ranges. That was the whole idea. The whole thing about the news is it is identified it in that way to give a proper uniform definition. So that's why it is not that big of an issue, because you need to first define something, then you can understand how to make sure you don't exploit it either. It needs to be defined first. It's a whole, the whole system works in a way of things which are defined, and on that definition you build up rules and laws according to that. So you need definition. That's a very important thing. So that's what they're trying to do. Even the court of law. Well, it's a very famous line in that movie that happened. Article 375, I guess. They were talking about. There was a speech given by the character of Akshay Khanna when he was saying, "There's justice and then there's law." And if you want to better something, or he said, "To me, law is the most important. Justice is there, yes, but it is the law which is being followed and which the court will follow. So you need proper definitions so you can have proper laws made on it, which is fair. I can agree to that. Combined with strict mining regulation, monitoring, ensuring ecological of Aravalli remain safeguarded and free from imminent threat. Transparent, objective, and scientific. Aravalli Hills are defined as landform rising from 100 meters or more above local relief. That is very important to remember, including their supporting slopes. That is hopeful. Again, this prevents loopholes and ensures all genuine hills are covered. Range mapped comprehensively. Hills within 500 meter proximity are clustered into Aravalli ranges. So anything that is within that 500 meter, that's half a kilometer, are clustered into Aravalli ranges. So intervening valleys, slopes, and smaller hillocks are also protected. So intervening valleys, the slopes, and smaller hillocks are also protected because then they are considered part of the range. Core inviolate zone safeguards. Mining is absolutely prohibited in protected areas, eco-sensitive zone, tiger reserves, wetlands, and CMPA plantation sites. No new mining leases. The Supreme Court has ordered a freeze on new mining leases until a detailed sustainable mining plan (MPSM) is prepared. Strict regulation of existing mines, current operations, and just so you know, mining is still going on at Aravalli, by the way. Current operation must comply with environment clearance, forest clearance, and continuous monitoring. Violation can lead to suspension. Illegal mining prevention surveillance with drones, CCTV, weigh bridges, and district task force ensures strong enforcement against unauthorized activity. This is something I actually wanted to hear, because the other statement which was being portrayed made us sound such an important, absolutely weak state. That was like almost bullshit thing. This is something I'm actually very happy about. Yes, we have the resources and we can prevent unauthorized activities. You need to give some trust, something for us to trust you on. Come on. Yeah, that being said, landscape level planning, upcoming MPSM to prepared by ICFRE will identify permissible and prohibited zone, assesses ecological carrying capacity, and mandate post mining restoration, which is again a very hopeful statement, and I will tell you why it is. First, I will just finish this conclusion that they're saying. Remains under robust protection through the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Changes, and coordinated efforts with state government. The government reiterates. So the state government, which I said was not making any comments and not doing a good job, turns out they were supposed to shut up. I was wrong again. The government reiterates its commitment to ecological preservation, sustainable development, and transparency. Fair enough. I can live with that. Contrary to alarmist claim, there is no imminent threat to Aravalli Ecology. The thing is, there is no imminent threat, but the thing is, never forget, we won't let there be an actual threat happening to raise our voices. It is too important for us. For me also, and where I come from, it gives us a sense of pride. So yes, you're not going to wait for there to be threats to it, an actual threat happening to it, at least. Ongoing afforestation, eco-sensitive zone notification, and strict monitoring of mining and urban activities, which is again a good sign. It means you're not just cutting up pieces of hills to create more so-called infrastructure like your golf courses and whatnot. Activities ensures that, or real estate by the way, ensures that Aravalli continues to serve as natural heritage, which is a very important thing. They are actually accepting to ecological shield for the nation. India's resolve is clear. Aravalli will be safeguarded for present and future generation while balancing conservation with responsible development. Now this actually, all that offense that I felt about how as Indians we can do that to the land we call our mother, Bharat Mata, that was also something that was offending me. So making a statement that our resolve is clear, that it will always be safeguarded, treated as a national heritage, and it will be present for future generations as well, and beyond that. Actually, it is too old and it will stay here even when we are gone. It is already 2 billion years old. It can live 2 more billion years and more. And they're still talking about development, and that is still a little bit of point of caution that we should actually take care of. And here's the link for the Supreme Court ruling, which I will actually tell you why, the record of proceedings. And this is also a good thing to actually read for everyone, and I will put the link for both PBI and PIB and the Supreme Court's recording of proceedings. I will put both of them in the link. Do read it for yourself. It will give you a bit more clarity and a bit more understanding why I'm a bit more hopeful and I'm not at all offended as much as I was, which is a good thing. So, Honorable Chief Justice of India pronounced the judgment of the bench comprising his lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice Arjun, and in terms of the judgment, the court passed the following order. We accept the recommendation made by the committee which regards the identification of Aravalli Hills and ranges given by the MOEF and CC. We further accept the recommendation with regards to prohibition of mining in core and rural areas, with exception as carved out in paragraph 731 of the committee's report. Those are an important part. If you want to read it, you'll understand why. And it does leave it open for being exploited in the name of the nation a bit, yes, but any sensible person will actually agree, yes, we still need to have that clause. So I can't really refute it, even though I might not like it. I can't really refute it. We also accept the recommendation of sustainable mining in Aravalli Hills and ranges and the steps to be taken for preventing illegal mining in Aravalli Hills and ranges. We direct the MOEF and CC to prepare a MPSM through ICFRE for the entire Aravallis, that is understood as the continuous geological ridges extending from Gujarat to Delhi on the lines of the MPSM for Saranda, and the MPSM must identify permissible areas for mining. So when you read this, it kind of is a little shocking that they're opening up every part of the Aravalli with entire Aravalli from Gujarat to Delhi to fall under mining, allowed for mining. But when it is more clarified, they need to identify permissible areas for mining. So it's not all of it. It needs to be permissible areas. Then they need to define that. And now that is a better thing, because if it is permitting almost all of it, hell no. That's not happening. That's not going to be allowed. Come on. Ecologically sensitive, conservation critical and restoration priority areas within the Aravalli landscape where mining shall be strictly prohibited or permitted only under exceptional and scientifically justified circumstances. Yes. Exceptional and scientifically justified circumstances. I'm not okay with that. You can justify anything if you want to. Put country in under an emergency and lots of things becomes justifiable. Incorporate a thorough analysis. You need to draw a line, and even though you call it a line on the sand, but you need to draw that line somewhere. Incorporate a thorough analysis of cumulative environmental impacts and ecological carrying and capacity of the region, and include detailed post-mining restoration and rehabilitation measures. We further direct till the MPSM is finalized by MOEFC and CC through ICFRE. No new mining lease should be granted. We further direct that upon the MPSM being finalized by MOEFC and CC in consultation with the ICFRE, mining would be permitted as per MPSM only. So again, a hopeful line. I'm telling you, I'm very hopeful reading this, generally speaking. Little less offended also, and still concerned in certain areas, in those areas wherein sustainable mining could be permitted, but they're limiting that area. The thing is, how much do that limit? That's the whole idea. How much do they limit? Because just to let you remember, only 8% is above 100 meters, and everything near it and the slopes and supporting foothills and everything would be protected, but 90% is still open. This does not tell us enough in a sense of like need to keep that in mind. 90% is still up for grabs. But if it is ecologically sensitive, it could be restricted and you can't mine over there. So it is all based on the plan. So we need to keep an eye on the plan that comes by. And when it's finalized, that's what we need to keep in mind. In meantime, the mining activity in the mine, which are already operational, would be continued in strict compliance with recommendation made by the committee in paragraph 8 of its report. Okay, this is it. This was the whole thing that we actually had. Again, it is hopeful. It opens up a lot of things up for grab. Little less concerning, still concerning enough, but all around, I think we will take the right steps. But the thing is, we need to be very careful. We need to see if any new mining rights is given. We need to see whatever the finalized report comes in, what all do they actually allow to be mined, and according to that report, what all, how much is actually being protected as well. That is a very important thing we need to actually look at. And as that reports come in, I will definitely be on it, and I will keep an eye on it 110%, because it is too important not to keep an eye on. We can't, again, as I said, it's a national and a natural heritage. It's a natural monument of this country. It is the guardian of the West. And we can't basically allow what has happened to the numerous landslides and destruction that has happened due to mining activities, like unscientific uncontrolled mining activities that has happened in Uttarakhand. I mean, the reports of all that landslide is not even a joke. Infrastructure kind of collapses in terms of like roads and bridges over there. Every time it rains, it's almost always floods and causes so much destruction, and that is because of our effect on it. We can't allow what has happened in Uttarakhand and happen in Aravalli as well. It would desertify most of the northern belt. We need to remember that. It would desertify Uttarakhand as well, by the way. West of UP. Delhi, we're basically dead. And in this committee, they actually agreed that they understand its importance, and even them being the green lungs of Delhi, and we need it. But this is it. This was the whole update that I had, and I'm actually happy, and I'm actually ashamed of being a bit of a one of the environment activist. I don't like to be an activist. I am offended if there's like almost stupidity in terms of what is being said, and I still don't agree with the whole idea of 100-meter and above. I know they're talking about from the local relief, and it is to include all the foothills and everything, and they're identifying it, the whole thing. I'm still not okay with that, but the thing is, turns out it is already being used since 2006 in Rajasthan, and they're just adopting all the protection that was given to it using this definition in Rajasthan to Union Territory of Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat as well. So I am actually a bit more hopeful about it. As I started this conversation, I am very hopeful. But again, need to keep in mind. Need to keep an eye on what actually goes on. One thing to actually hear the news directly and even reading the whole recording of the proceeding. Other thing is, how is it enacted? That is more important. How it will be enacted. So, that being said, hope you had a good day. Hope it was interesting. Hope it is less concerning now. But we need to be vigilant still. Can't trust the government always. You need to test them. Are they still doing the right job? And here comes out they're doing a good job. But again, enforcement. That is what's more important. That's what's more important. So, see you next time. And I think I've actually talked about this a little too much. Next time I should talk about something else. Let's go back to the old format a little bit. See you again. Hara Mahadev Mitra.